I am a fidget. You may or may not have noticed this about me. I find sitting still quite hard, all the more so if something important is happening. I find it hard just to sit and listen. I need to be doing something. As you can imagine, this made lectures at college quite difficult. Though during my time at Spurgeon's, I did get quite good at playing Championship Manager on my laptop. Obviously, at the same time as taking everything in. It also means that when I'm on the phone, I tend to walk around, I pace the house or my office. It means that even as I was writing this, I had a small piece of blue tack in my hand that I was fiddling with. It means that when I listen to a sermon, I take a notepad and pen because the best way for me to pay attention is to make notes and to doodle and draw in the margins at the same time. It means that I also find it really hard to have the sort of quiet time that involves sitting on the end of the bed in silence and reading my Bible and praying. Last Sunday in church we were thinking about worship. We were worshipping God in different ways by singing and signing and drawing and colouring and writing psalms and waving flags. And we're going to continue to think about worship this coming Sunday too. Worship is all about how we encounter God. It's the character and shape of our side of that relationship between Him and us. We relate to God through worship. And because I am a fidget, I find it hard to do this in stillness and silence. So I pray on the move as I walk or run. I listen for His voice whilst I go. I play guitar and I sing. I pray out loud even when I'm on my own. I listen to the Bible and to Bible notes rather than just sitting in silence and reading. There is probably some diagnosis for people like me, but that really isn't what this message is about. This message is about worship and acknowledging that we worship differently. Some of us prefer silence and stillness to draw near to God, to encounter Him, to worship Him, to hear from Him. Some of us prefer music and movement and sound to worship Him. Some of us find it easy to worship on our own, and some of us prefer to be amongst other people in order to worship. Some of us like to be in a warm, well-known, comforting environment, and some of us want to be looking out to sea or standing on the top of a mountain. We're often called to worship God in ways that might be a little uncomfortable for us, that are not what we would find ideal personally. And there'll be more on that on Sunday. But I simply wanted to remind you today that there are many, many ways to worship God. There are many ways to encounter Him. Many ways to engage with the Bible, to listen to God's voice, to spend time in His presence. And the important thing isn't how you take time to encounter God, to worship Him each week, each day. The important thing is that you do take time to worship Him, to praise Him, to listen for His voice, to listen to His word in the Bible.
How do you worship?